So yesterday, my wife Mandy and I were out running some errands. We decided to stop by the land, do card pull on the way home. I generally try to do them every Friday. That's kind of my cycle. Is Fridays I go do card pulls. I work from home on Friday. It gives me the time to run out there and do it. The last two card pulls coming up to this one have been pretty disappointing. The deer numbers were way down. Not really sure why. It's been a really mild winter. It's been that way all throughout the Midwest. We've had warm temperatures, 30s, 40s, no snow. We hadn't had any solid snow in probably 6, 7 weeks. Just wasn't seeing a lot of deer on camera. Few does and fawns, few small bucks. I think the last card pull, I mean, maybe 5, 6, 7 deer. Not a lot. But what a difference the weather makes. This past week, the weather changed. We've got, I don't know what we ended up getting, 5, 6, 7 inches of snow, and the temperatures dropped hard. And it really changed. It looks like the deer are herding up quite a bit now at our place. She was driving. We pulled in there and stopped where I wanted to get out and check the first camera. And she could right away see, she's like, oh, there's deer. Mandy's saying, my wife's saying, there's deer in the woods. There's deer in the woods there. So she grabbed the camera quick and held it out the window of the truck, which was good. So we've got some footage of that. And then I went through and I kind of went through and looked at the plots and changed trail cameras. So we'll jump into that footage now, and then I'll wrap it up when I'm done. We just pulled in here to change trail camera cards, and
there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them out here.
Oh, there's more. There's another one, little baby. I don't think there's any racks on
There's
it.
a whole bunch more.
Oh my gosh, honey. I didn't see any racks on any of that one.
Keep filming.
I am, but I don't know how to zoom it.
You can't zoom it. It's
Oh.
cool. Let's just sit here and let them kind of work their way off. There's one, there's another one. Jeez, there's just a pile of them.
Uh-huh.
We haven't had this many out here.
Really? The daylight?
Well, I haven't been getting that many pictures. I mean,
There's probably 6 of them before they started moving. And you're like, I don't see them.
well, I'm going to walk down here to this camera. We haven't been getting a lot of pictures. You know, it's been real mild. We haven't had any snow. Now that it's snowed, man, we must have saw 12, 14 deer coming out. They're coming out, look like they're in that brassica plot over there. So we'll have to go check that out. I'm going to film this one here a little bit. There's been just a ton of game going up the hill there. You can see there's quite a few tracks out here. We've got a good week of good snow now. I wanted to see if they were digging and pawing out here, digging up the turnips. I don't really see that they are much yet. We definitely have some good trails going through here that we can see now. Definitely some good trails. Well, I'm gonna walk back in here. Well, let's see what we see here. This was a real heavily used trail, and it's not now. In fact, it's really not. If I look down here, they're coming through here, but they've changed. It looks like they're crossing over there more. I'm actually going to move this camera. It's right here. This was just a really, really heavily used trail for months upon months. When it was a highway, I'd get piles of pictures. The last few card pulls I haven't. Looks like they've moved over here. I'm going to spin this camera around. Actually, I don't even think I need to take it off the tree. I'm just going to turn it right around and we'll go check the other cameras.
this food plot here, it doesn't look like they're even touching. There's even really not a lot of traffic through here. But there's a ton of food. There's a lot of green still underneath all this snow. They're not really touching it. Got a bunch of traffic back here. Crossing. They're all going up there. That's where that herd was. Up on the other side. So hopefully they're in that brassica plot over there. Oh. We got one little spot here. Looks like a couple other spots. This entire plot that they started pawing up. Not a lot of traffic through here either. There's still deer crossing here, but not a ton. Change this card here and we'll move to the other side. Well, I think it's very apparent where the deer have been and the turkeys. I'm gonna film some of this and I'm gonna come back to it. You can see it's absolutely like a cow yard out here. I'm gonna walk down. This is up here in the cornfield. It's just absolutely looks like a cow yard out here. This is when we pulled in over there. We saw all the deer come out of here. We kind of spooked them back in there. I'm gonna say there was, I don't know, 11, 12, 14, something like that. This is my biggest curiosity now, is to see, are they eating this brassica plot? We put a lot of work and effort into this, and if they're not going to eat it, I'll plant something else next year, because we obviously know they like the corn and the standing grains, the beans. But I would say this plot is getting hit pretty good. This is it's pretty tore up, so you can see the corn starts right there. And this is all that brassica plot, the rock plot I call it. I'm gonna walk down there. You can see it's just absolutely tore up. Wow. Yeah, you can see that. And they are out here. They hit this one now. They've got this just tore up like crazy. I mean, you can see this hillside here all the way up is just tore up, where they've been digging down into this plot of brassicas here. In fact, there's a spot up here where it's opened up. I'm gonna put a camera before I leave. I'm gonna put a camera over here. There's some matted down places. I almost wonder if they're not bedding out here. I'm gonna throw a camera out here before I go somewhere. Up on this corner up here. You can see it's just absolutely matted down. Just tore up. I'm gonna go through here. Get out of the sunlight. You can see they're in here eating this now. The snow hit, it got cold. They're in here pretty hard. Yeah, this just tore up. It's like a cattle yard through here. And granted, we got a lot of turkeys out here. We got a flock of 30 turkeys running through here, so they do a lot of this too. But I mean, this snow is only a week old. I'm gonna go up top, film up in the corn. You'll see up there how matted down it is. But I'm gonna change this camera here. I've been having a lot of issues with the camera that was here. I just swapped it out last week. Hopefully this one worked, because there should be a lot of pictures of the deer moving through here. Yeah, you can see the ground up here is just pawed up, absolutely pawed up. I'm up here by the hunting shack. Got a camera on the shack, and as you can see, this part of the field looks like a cattle yard up here. They are up here digging, so they're still up here digging for corn. Looks like they're digging pretty good in the brassicas. There's a lot going on in the brassicas. It's really tore up down there. I'm gonna try to put a camera down there. I've got one that is having issues with. I think I got it figured out. I'm gonna go see if I can find a place down there to put it.
So as you can see, it looks like the deer are starting to herd up. We've got about a 4 or 5 acre spot there, kind of the corner of the cornfield where it meets one of our brassica plots. They're just piled in there. The other 2 brassica plots, one of them had, as you can see in the footage, next to no activity at all. That one didn't come in as good this year. Even though that looks like the best soil, I don't know if it's a fertilizer issue or what, but really didn't seem to grow that well. It was shorter than the rest. Didn't really get it much for radishes or turnips growing in it. The other one, the first one that I'd stopped at in this video, that definitely had a little bit of activity, but nothing like the big one on the other side of the creek next to the cornfield. I definitely looked like they had been in there quite a bit. They're chewing the stalks down. I was hoping to see some, half-eaten turnips and radishes and stuff, and I didn't really see that. But it looks like they're digging in there and eating it. I had some pictures. Deer head buried in the snow, comes up, got stuff hanging out of its mouth. So they're definitely eating it. This was going to be a big factor this year on what we were going to plant next year. If they don't eat this combination, if it doesn't do them any good, then we'll move on and do something else. But it looks like they're starting to, now that it's gotten cold. The next week's supposed to stay just bitter cold. We're talking a couple of days this coming week, or the highs are going to be in the low teens, below 0, not above 0. So it should stay cold. I'm guessing there's a good 15, 18, maybe 20 deer herding up out there now. Looks like they're kind of coming from the back, so a lot of my traditional camera routes that I had that they were hitting, I'm getting nothing on camera. I really need to go move them. I'm debating whether I should go out and do it again. Normally I go out in the middle of the day. That usually doesn't disturb them. Usually they're not around in the middle of the day, but they are now. It looks like by looking at the pictures, they're definitely out there in the middle of the day. I suppose it's the warmest when it's this cold. But I really should go move a couple of cameras because they're not really getting any action on them, and move them up to where the deer are kind of centralized. They're in this 3, 4, 5 acre area where they're really in there. I'd like to get some good pictures in there. Didn't really have anything really big for bucks. Some 80, 90, 100-inch deer. There's one that's probably in the 120s. He'll be a really good up-and-comer in the following years, but nothing big, but a lot. I had to have probably 10, 12 different small bucks. So I definitely had one that I could see that had shed. He was scabbed over, and he was a little bit bigger, more mature buck. Otherwise, all the rest are still holding antlers. I did have a scene. I'll edit it in here when I'm done here. I'll throw some pictures in. We had a couple of bucks, they were fighting. I mean, looking at the timestamp on the clock, they went around for probably 8 minutes. They went round and round and round in a circle. These two bucks did. Still fighting, and obviously their antlers are on, so they hadn't dropped yet. Today is the 26th of January. Can't read today. Today's the 26th of January, so we're getting there. I mean, we're a couple of weeks away from them starting to drop. So I'll finish this up now. I'll edit in a few of the pictures. There was definitely some pictures where you could see there was a lot of deer a lot of deer out in the field. I really only had a lot of pictures on one camera. I had one camera set up out overlooking the corner of the cornfield, and that camera in 1 week had over 1,700 pictures. In all fairness, it is set to do a triple burst, but it doesn't take all three if there's not something in front of it, and there was really no blanks. So there was literally probably 1,600 pictures of deer and turkeys in 1 week off that camera. That one was placed right. Some of the other ones now, that's kind of what I got at earlier. I need to go move them because, you know, I had another camera that had like 6 pictures in 2 weeks, and so I need to move them. They're definitely herded up and tight into one area. But the good news is it looks like they're starting to eat some of the brassica, so I'll keep watching it over the week and do some more updates.